Recent violence by extremists in France and Nigeria has shone the spotlight on acts of terrorism. Many countries have not only condemned the incidents, but have also scrutinized their own defenses against terrorism. Well, here to discuss global security matters in relation to South Africa is our State Security Minister, David Mahlobo. It's so good to have you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much, Leanne, and greetings to all our viewers at home.
And also, I have to wish you a happy birthday. I know it was your birthday on Wednesday, so a belated happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Good, thank you. I hope you had a good day. Now to the serious issues, because it really is serious issues. We've been watching with horror around the world, both within our continent and outside of our continent. Firstly, what is your response to these attacks that we have witnessed?
Well, we have to reiterate the position and the call by our President Zuma, when he condemned these acts of terror that have happened both in our continent and the latest attacks that have happened in France. We're also noting now that terrorism has become the biggest international threat to peace, security and development. But as an African continent, we are doing a lot of work to provide African solutions to our African problems. But we should note that terrorism has just become so complex. It starts to include matters of arms and drug trafficking, human smuggling, issues of illicit trade, issues of kidnapping for ransom, and including issues of mercenaries that we started to see there. But as a continent, we are very pleased to note that with our own collaboration, there are structures in place in the African Union Peace and Security Council, where there are 5 countries like ourselves were included, Chad and Algeria, where we are responsible to put mechanism to deal with issues of terrorism in the continent. But in our own region as SADC, we must admit that there is a subcommittee on state security, including our early warning system, that we can be able to share matters of intelligence so that we can be able to respond.
Looking at the 2 incidents now, we talk about these because these are on top of our minds. You look at France, the authorities there were in a way aware that something was going to happen, but they couldn't prevent this act of terrorism. Looking at Nigeria, the slow response is also in question, and you know the response particularly from the presidency. How do you rate our counterparts and the reaction to these terrorist attacks?
Well, as I've said, that terrorism has become very complex. There are a number of things that you need to put in place. One of the most important things is that governments must have strong intelligence capability. In the African continent, we do have what we call CISA. It's a Committee on Intelligence for State Security for Africa. Those structures, they're able to provide information to be able to track these people who have evil deeds, because it's not very easy. At the same time, if you don't have the right early warning systems, you will not be in a position to be able to strike at them. Therefore, you will rely on intelligence, you will rely on communities, but more importantly, you must have a strong institutional mechanism and security forces to be able to respond. Even a country like the United States of America, which is well developed, strong military, you look at France itself and other countries, it's not easy to deal with these particular threats. Therefore, those mechanisms, they are very important that we should be able to collaborate, share information about those terrorist activities. Who are these people? You profile them. Then in terms of your border management, you will be able to pick up these people. And there are also issues of arms and ammunition. That there's a proliferation. You should be in a position to know who are these suppliers. You cut the supply. But at the very same time, there's a serious issue about financing of the terrorist groups. Therefore, the monitoring mechanism from a security point of view, but including financial intelligence, is very important that we share that information to curb them. But immediately a situation happens, then it depends whether your soldiers, your military, the police are geared in a position that they will be able to ensure that there are less casualties.
Are we always on standby for a terrorist attack? I mean, we never hear about it in South Africa. We don't. But like every other country you talk about, I imagine that's there. It's on standby. We are prepared in the eventuality of a terrorism attack. Is that the case?
Well, we are prepared, but we should admit that there is no country that is not vulnerable. We are vulnerable. But the biggest threat, as we know now, is in the West Africa, North Africa, East Africa, and Central Africa. But if you look at the Southern Africa, we're relatively stable. But we should know that in South Africa, in terms of our own capabilities, we've been able to ensure that we host important events like the 2010 World Cup. That was incident-free because of the men and women that we work with, that they keep the country safe. The incidents of terror that the Puremach was making, the incident of the issues of the Cape Town, the Pagat issues, the people that nearly killed the leadership of the ANC in Mangaung, were able, through our intelligence capability, working with other law enforcement agencies, to apprehend them. But more importantly, we are monitoring people when they are coming in and out of the country. What are they doing here? That's why we're strengthening the question of the border management. We're also doing financial monitoring of certain activities, because there are many people who come to our country from East Africa, the Horn of Africa, from Asia and Europe. They will come to South Africa, and some of them, they have evil intentions. Yeah. That's why as a country we're always on the alert.
Yeah. What about the issue of, and I know South Africa has been under the spotlight for this on numerous occasions, but I suppose the biggest one is the White Widow. Obtaining false passports and false South African documentation and then committing acts of terrorism. Have we gotten a hang of this, and we dealt with those situations?
Well, those situations, you can always tighten your systems, because remember, one of the things that we're working on is the integrity of our document systems. How easily accessible, as the minister was here before, you will have spoken about that. But more importantly, some of these people, they live within our communities. Therefore, communities have a responsibility to be able to raise some of the suspicion. For an example, if people are starting to be involved in illicit activities, like the issues of money laundering is one example, the issues of drugs, even some of the issues that as a country we must deal with is issues of mercenarism, where certain South Africans will be part of those people that will go across the world and go and fight a fight that they don't even know. For the instance that they wanted to get financial gains and employ other people. That's why we have our own law, which is the Prevention of Military Assistance Act. So to any private company that goes out of the country to another country to be part of the terrorist groups, we will not be able as a country to back up those particular individuals. They will have to face the might of the law, either here at home or international.
Let's have a look at Nigeria. Obviously, being on the same continent, that is something that we're very concerned about. Commitment from South Africa to assist Nigeria. Has there been any commitment in any way? And if so, what threat does South Africa have on the other side of insurgents, of Boko Haram coming in here, or anything like that? But firstly, I suppose the question to answer is, have we committed assistance to Nigeria in any form?
Well, as a country, we are working through our multilateral mechanism. As I've said, we are part of the African Union. In the African Union, we are having our own African Union Peace and Security Council. We are part of that particular subcommittee. Responsible ministers, we are discussing these issues, sharing information on intelligence in terms of our Committee on Intelligence for State Security for Africa. And we're also sharing the information about certain individuals, that these individuals have been profiled as people who are actually involved in terrorism attacks, both in Nigeria and other parts of the world, so that we can be in a position that when these people, they come into our country or they go to other countries, we'll be able to do that. But we're also looking very strongly about issues that there should be no financial assistance, that people can use our own country, one, as a breeding ground for terrorism in other countries. They can use our country as a transit point to be able to actually strike other countries using those terrorist activities.
All right. Minister, we have to leave it there, but thank you very much for coming in and giving us some inside information on our stance and our situation when it comes to terrorism attacks here in our own country. David Mahlobo is the State Security Minister in South Africa. Thank you again for joining us.
No, thank you very much. Well, just to assure South Africans, you should be able to feel safe. Government will do whatever it takes to keep ourselves in a safe condition and secured.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you.